Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial. We'll be looking on how to use user-defined function and how to define your own function in your work. So let's jump in and start writing our function. We'll start by making a file func.py. When you are defining functions in Python, you want to make sure always that is how it is. You have to start the function by the def keyword. You just write def is for definition. You want to define the name of the function, then the def keyword, it is followed by the name of the function, then parenthesis and a colon at the end. Then everything else you want to make sure you indent it under that definition of the function. That when you indent it, that tells Python that is the body of the function, so it will be treated as part of that function. And in our function here, we want to just print hello world. We just to print hello world for start, hello world, and that is complete function in Python. So you want, after defining that is complete function. Now when we are calling it, that's just a definition. Now we want to call it so we can get the results of the function, what is doing. We want to go outside the function and we call the function by writing the name of the function, then parentheses, and note at the end there is no the colons. You just write the name and the parentheses, and that is enough to call the function. Just run, and running the file you just write python 3 and the name of the function of the file you want to run .py. You see, when you run it, you are getting the results of hello world. It is printing the hello world, what it is inside the function. This is just a simple function which is taking no parameters, is taking no anything, just printing hello world, nothing special in that. So we just want, let's make another function which is takes some arguments in order to do more useful things. We're just going to enter this one. We are going to say we are expecting to get a variable of name, and we come here, we make this f string. We make some few changes here. Name, sorry, we make name, and the name, the variable we are going to receive here is the one will be substituted here in this f string. So let's go down here, and now our new function is expecting some input. So when we are calling it, we have to ensure we are supplying the expected input. So we want to call it Dennis, and now let's run again. We see what's the difference with the previous function we had. The way we just run it, you see now we are getting hello plus the name we are substituting here. If you put like any other name, let's say which other name, let's say hello Millicent, you are going to get that name. That's the beauty of function. It's flexible. It's not fixed to just accept one name. That's the beauty of the function, which accepts different arguments. Now from there, we can make another function. You see, like this function is just printing. Nothing else is doing. It's just printing the results you are getting on the screen. Now we want to make another function which does an operation of the argument is receiving, then it returns the results to us. Let's say def add. We want to add numbers. We say we are adding A and B. when you are to say to tell the function to return the results where it's been called, we use the return keyword. You say return, and what are you returns? You are returning A plus B. That's the results we are returning. And then now we have finished defining our function and defining what we want it to do. Now we want to call it. To call it, the function is going to return us some value. So we want to store the value in a variable called f, and then we call the add, and we supply the two arguments which are expected. We supply 5 and not 5, let's say 6 is okay. Then and then to see the results, we have to print the value of f. Print f. Let's run our program and see the results. You see, now we are getting 11. That's the results which we are expecting. Let's open our file again. We make some more changes. We can make another function which is subtracts. We say def. Every function you have to start with def, then followed by the name of the function, what you want to call it, and you define if the argument it will be receiving. The argument it will be receiving. Function is can receive a number of argument provided you verify you pass the argument when you are defining the function. Then we want to it to return the value of a minus r minus g. That is the value it will. This one I typed double. Why? Sorry for that. Sorry. Then here we can call our function again the same way we did with h. We call our sub function, and the sub function is expecting 3 arguments, so we have to supply 3 arguments. We supply 7th, we supply 5th, and we supply 4. Then we want to print the results of our we are getting from the sub. We print h. Now let's run our program again. We see what we are going to take to get now. See, now we are printing the name, the addition, and the subtraction. I think that is cool. That is a good introduction for how function works. They are just a simple function. The important thing is you get the concept. When you get the concept how to define the function, how to call them, it will be very easy now to advance into a more complicated function, which will be useful and doing important things. Let's define another final function here. We can define another one. We say the name, we call it mul. Its purpose is to multiply numbers. We call f and y. Yeah, then it will be returning the value of f times y. Then we come down here. We call our function with the d. We call mul, and we pass value like 8 and 2. And to see the results, then we have to use the print function. We print d. That's how it is to call this function and define them. Let's run the program. We see what we are getting. You see all the results there. Okay, x expected. Actually, we are getting 16. That was not expected, but it's okay. Now I want to show you something else here. Yes, here on the addition here, where we are calling the addition. Let's call the addition function with some strings. Let's call it with Dennis, and the other string we supplied with you. Let's see what will happen when we call those function. That function is two strings. You see, actually the function is working. It is the joining the two strings, but maybe in some cases you will want the function to be doing this, but in this case we are doing just pure mathematics. We don't want our function to be taking strings. So before we do an operation on the variable, we want to check them. We ensure they have the right type which can do the operation we want. So we want to check the type of A. If the type of A is not int, we want to raise with type error. We raise type error, and then here we can write some useful information to the user. We tell A must be a number. That, I think that is good, can work for now. A must be number. Then let's run again. We see what we are going to get now. You see now it is raising the value error, because we don't want to be joining words. We want to do like addition, the pure addition, and we can do the same thing, like we check the value of B. Also we type of B is not int, we can raise the same error, raise type error with the same message. B must be a number. And before we call it, in order to see if it is checking, because it will raise the type error on the first occurrence of the so we can change the value of A here. We give it, we ensure A it is a number, so it can check the second value. We make this 5. And let's kill in here. And you see it is saying B must be a number. I think that is a good introduction for function, and let's just do some more practice, and in the next tutorial we'll take from there. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, so the algorithm for YouTube can suggest our video to more people. Thank you, and have a good day.